You let me know when we're ready, Thierry.
Yes. Go ahead.
Ready? Yep. Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to this media conference to preview tomorrow's UEFA Euro 2020 Group D fixture between England and Scotland. As you see, we're joined here by Gareth Southgate and England captain Harry Kane. We'll shortly start by opening the floor and taking questions. Just a quick housekeeping notice. As and when I do call you forward to ask a question, don't worry about the mute button. I'll look after that function from this end, and we'll get underway shortly with Jerry Cox from Haters. Let's just come into the chat. There you are, Jerry, fire away.
Good. I just wondered if the weather tomorrow might be better for you than it was on Sunday. It seemed baking hot at Wembley. Do you think it would be a bit more like a classic British game tomorrow night?
Sorry, who was that to? I didn't catch.
Harry, if you like.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it'll be a little bit easier, I guess, in that aspect. It was a tough game. Obviously, 2 in the afternoon. Felt like about 40 degrees on that pitch. So, obviously that was a difficult game, difficult conditions. But I thought we handled that well. So, yeah, it'll be nice to be playing 8 o'clock in the evening. Hopefully, a bit colder. I think obviously we'll adapt to any situation, but for sure it'll be nice to play in colder weather.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Next we'll go to Kerry Brown of BeanymanSports. 2 seconds, Kerry. Oh no, Kerry's gone. Okay, we'll move across to Alistair Lamont from BBC Scotland. Alistair, you there?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here. Harry, you broke Scottish Hearts 4 years ago. I just wonder where that goal ranks in the pantheon of goals that you scored in terms of what it means to you, and would it be actually more meaningful for you to do it again tomorrow, given that it's a major finals?
Yeah, no, that was one of my favourite goals I've scored in an England shirt for sure. The atmosphere that day was incredible, really, and obviously the noise after Scotland went 2-1 up was crazy, and then all of a sudden for us to score and just hear the away fans was obviously a great feeling. So of course it'd be great to be able to do that again tomorrow, if it means us trying to win and help the team. So for sure that's one of my favourite goals. It was my first game as captain of England as well, so it holds a special place in my heart.
Thanks, Alistair. Next we go to Martin Samuel of the Daily Mail. There you go, Martin.
Yeah, sorry. Gareth, I was just wondering, is one of the dangers of tomorrow night to get engaged too much in the passion of the occasion and not play it as a football match, but play it as a derby between England and Scotland with all of that entails, first of all? And secondly, does it help that for a lot of the younger players, maybe the fixture doesn't have the meaning that it did for previous generations?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, Martin. We, of course, know that we've got to compete because otherwise you can get overrun in any game. But our focus has been on solving the tactical problems that Scotland pose with the way that they play, the way they defend, the way they attack. Our focus has got to be on performance, getting better with every game that we play. And of course, for the fans and for us, it's a big occasion. But it's another opportunity for 3 points, and our objective is qualification. So that's what we've got to focus on. I thought in the past we've done that well. I thought we did that very well on Sunday. You know, Sunday was a big occasion for everybody. And with the heat as well, I thought we dealt with that really, really well.
And the point about the young players, whether it means as much to the generation that is Mason Mount and Phil Foden as it did to previous guys, yourself maybe, and people that went before? Yeah,
I think every game they play for England means a lot to them, but I think younger generations probably have a different view on those old rivalries, and of course the history of the games when we were growing up, the home internationals were one of the few games you saw live at the end of the season, and England-Scotland every year was a massive occasion. Now it's played less regularly. Obviously, lots of the players are friends within their clubs. We know the rivalry, but I think, I certainly haven't felt the need to build that up with the players. I want them to approach it like any other game of football and focus on playing well. And I don't think we need to emphasise the other part too much.
Thanks. Thank you, Martin. Next we'll go to Alex Howell of BBC Sport.
Hi, this one's a question for Harry, just to follow on from that. Declan Rice said that he already knows that this game will be in the top 3 games he'll play in his whole career. Is that something you've spoken about as a group, and do you think it'll be right up there for you?
Yeah, I mean, like the gaffer said there, I think for us it's a chance to qualify in the group. So that's our main focus. Of course, we know what it means as players to represent England, and when you're playing a home nation like Scotland, we know what that entails with the fans and the build-up around the game. So yeah, we are trying to use that and take them feelings into the game and try and use that to our advantage. But all in all, it's about us performing on the pitch and tactically getting it right and making sure that we exploit whatever weaknesses they have on the day. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic game. Of course, we want to try and win and be on the winning side. And look, who knows? We play plenty of games in our career, so I'm not sure until the game's finished whether it'll be one that's going to be in my top 3. But we'll just have to wait and see.
And then one for Gareth as well, please. Steve Clark said Kieran Tierney is fit to play for Scotland tomorrow. Just what you think of him as a player and how much a threat he can be.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I expected him to be fit. I think him and Andy Robertson form a very good partnership down that side of the field for Scotland. We know they've got some very good players. We know they've got some good players playing in the Scottish Premier League, and we know all of the players, of course, playing in the English Premier League are at a very high level. So we certainly don't underestimate the challenge. Lots of teammates, so the players know them very, very well. But as I said before, we've got to focus on what we do, how we combat Scotland's way of playing, their build-up play, their ability to certainly deliver a lot of crosses into the box. And then we've got to try and find the areas that we can exploit in the way that they defend. That's the same for every game we prepare for.
Thanks, Alex. Next we'll go to Theo Squires from the Liverpool Echo.
Hi, this is a question for both of you, if I may. I'll start with Gareth. Jordan Henderson's place in the squad has come under a question pretty much since the squad was announced, coming back from injury. You've had a number of pundits really questioning that, like Gabby Agbonlahor, Roy Keane. And I suppose those calls have been enhanced by Calvin Phillips' his performance last week. Do you have a response to that with what he brings to the squad, how his condition is at the moment? And then for Harry, it's what he brings to you as the vice-captain, what he brings to the camp.
Yeah, I think with a 26-man squad, we were able to take a little bit more of a risk with Hendo. And what he brings to the group on the training pitch, what he brings around the camp, his experience, the way that he can speak to some of the other players in those quiet moments when you're around the hotel. It's similar to Harry, the way he trains, the way he approaches his work is a great advantage for us to have in with the team. He is training consistently now, and he's getting closer to the level that we need him to be at. And also I think we've got good, some decent cover in that area of the pitch, but I think the drop off from not taking Hendo was such that we'd preferred to give him the opportunity to make it. And I think we've obviously had Jude come through as well, which has been a real bonus, as well as Calvin. So you've got to have the physical part right. There's no doubt about that. Even if it's for 15-20 minutes of the game, you've got to be able to press well, you've got to be able to get around the pitch well. But there are other factors when you're building a squad and when you're building a team, and all of those parts are key to producing a winning environment.
Yeah, and just to add on that, I'd agree. I think for me, Jordan's one of the best leaders that I've ever played with. So I think he brings an awful lot to the squad. He's hugely respected amongst the rest of the players and the staff. Obviously, he's played at the highest level, won the biggest trophies. So I definitely think he could be a big part to us going far in this tournament. Like the gaffer said, he's been working hard and training hard to try and get as fit as possible to be ready whenever called upon. So I hugely respect Jordan, and I'm very happy that he's here with us on this camp.
Thank you, Theo. Next we'll go to James Robson of The Standard.
Hi, question for Harry, please. Harry, you made no secret of the fact that your desperation to win trophies, and maybe the trophies that your talent deserves. Given the way your club career's gone so far, does it make winning with England that more significant for you, that little bit more special?
No, I think winning with England has always been a dream, always been an ultimate goal. I think whenever you put on this shirt, the aim is to win, and obviously we've not won a major trophy for a long time, so we all have that opportunity to be part of something special, and I'm relishing that challenge. I love to take that challenge on. Of course, there's a lot of hard work, and major tournaments aren't easy to win, but to have that opportunity now is exciting for me, and of course, like me and all the rest of the players, we want to make our country proud, make each other proud, make our friends and family proud, and wearing that shirt does that, and obviously to win a major tournament would do that as well. So I'll be doing everything, and I know everyone else will be doing everything to try and make that happen.
Personally, do you see England as one of your best chances to win medals?
Well, I think we've got a great opportunity to do it. Obviously, there's not as many major tournaments as there is competitions for your club, so statistically I'm not too sure how that will add up, but for me, we've got a great team. We're in a good place. We're still working hard. We've still got room for improvement, but for me, I'm excited for what's to come.
Thanks, James. Next we'll move to Jason Burt, The Telegraph.
Hi there. It's a question for both of you, and I appreciate it's not about tomorrow night's game, but over the past couple of days, Cristiano Ronaldo, Paul Pogba and Manuel Locatelli have all removed the drinks bottles in front of them on the stage. You guys haven't done that today. I'm just wondering, is it something you've actually thought about, and can you explain why you decided not to do so?
Well, I think there are lots of sponsors in sport, and the impact of their money at all levels helps sport to function, particularly grassroots sport in our country. Requires a lot of investment, and without some of those companies investing, then very difficult to provide the facilities that we need. And I think with anything, of course, we're mindful of in our country obesity and health, but everything can be done in moderation, and I think anything that you take part in or partake in moderation is rarely a problem. So I understand the concerns that people have, and obviously the two guys had different rationale for the two stances they took. But there's always a bigger picture to these things, I think.
Yeah, from my point of view, I totally agree. I think obviously the sponsors are entitled to have what they want if they've paid obviously the money to do so. So it's not something that personally I've thought too much about. Obviously, I've seen it go around on social media and things like that. But if I'm totally honest, I'm more focused on tomorrow than anything like that.
Thanks, Jason. Next we'll go to Simon Peach of Press Association.
A question for Gareth. Harry Maguire told us yesterday that he was fit and available for tomorrow's game. I just wanted to see if you agreed with that, and just about the tournament as a whole, really, building up to this.
Harry will be involved tomorrow. Decision we've got to make is whether he's ready to start. But we're really pleased with his progress. He's trained with the team for 4 or 5 days now. So and had no reaction, and of course each session that he's involved with, he gets more confident, and I think he's on a really good path. So of course we want everybody available. It causes difficult decisions, but at the moment, this morning on the training pitch we had 26 players training, and that's a great situation for us to be in.
Thanks, Simon. Apologies in advance for the pronunciation, but next we'll go to Aralas Old Sada from VG Norway.
Good evening. Question for Harry, please, about Christian Eriksen. How have the last 5 days been for you as a good friend of his? And have you had any dialogue with him? How has that been? And how have the other players in the squad as well who know him handled this special situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult. Obviously, to watch it last week and see it happen was really hard to watch. And obviously, thankfully, Christian's alive and seems to be doing well. I've not had no contact with him personally, but my wife has spoke to his wife, and from what I understand, everything's going in a good way. So obviously, we've had to try and switch off from it and try and focus on the games, but of course Christian's in all of our hearts, not just our team, I think the whole football family. So it's a reminder of how quickly things can change in life, and never to take things for granted. So we just want to wish him well and wish him all the best, and obviously I hope to see him soon personally, and hopefully after this tournament we get to do that.
We've seen some of the other players tribute him with sort of celebrations, and in Denmark as well today. Do you have anything special in mind if you score a goal?
I'll have to score a goal first before I can think of anything like that. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, Christian's a good friend. The most important thing is that he knows we're all thinking of him, and that he's obviously getting better day by day.
Okay, thank you. Next we'll go to James Elliott, ESPN.
It's a question for Gareth. How important do you think a win is tomorrow in the context of potentially qualifying with a game to spare, so you have that option of rotating in the third game potentially like you had in Russia?
Well, of course, I think every team would like to be qualified as quickly as they can, and we know that tomorrow is a difficult game for us, but that is the objective. That would open up all sorts of decisions and possibilities, but our focus is at the moment on how do we get that result tomorrow. Everything else is sort of comes off the back of that, and we can't look any further ahead than tomorrow night's game, really.
Thanks, James. Next we'll go to Marcello Courage from TV Globo.
Hi, good afternoon. Harry, we had a camera on you for a big part of the match against Croatia, and it was pretty clear that they were trying to lock you up with 2, sometimes 3 players. Do you think this is going to be a pattern from now on because of the goals that you have scored lately for Tottenham? And Gareth, do you think you can help him tactically to get rid of that?
I think as a player, I've learned to cope with different tactical approaches over the years with experience. So I guess every country has their own way of playing, their own style of stopping certain threats. So from my point of view, I like to think I'm able to manage that on the pitch and see where the space is, and see when I have to drop deep, and see when I have to run in behind or hold up the ball. So that comes with being a professional footballer at the highest level. You have to learn how to deal with those things. So from my point of view, all I focus on is trying to help the team, and whatever way possible that is, then I'll do it.
Yeah, I think from our perspective, when you have outstanding players, they're going to attract attention of defenders and the tactics of the opposition. What it does is it opens up spaces for other people. That's what happened with our goal on Sunday. We also then have other good players that hopefully will draw defenders away for to allow Harry more space as well at certain times. So I think that's part and parcel of the highest level of games. You're going to have special attention from defenders when you're a top striker. They know they can't give you a moment's peace. They can't give you a yard because they're going to be punished, and that is what the top level of the game is all about, really.
Thank you, Marcello. Next we'll go to Carrie Brown at BeanymanSports. Carrie, if you leave your mute button. No. Connection issues. We'll go next to Stuart Rayner of the Yorkshire Post.
Hi, just a question for Gareth, if I may. You sort of suggested there that perhaps Jordan Henderson owed his place to the fact that you've got these 3 extra players. I just wonder if the same applies to Harry Maguire, and how difficult it is to judge his readiness to play on the back of training.
No, what I meant when I said we had 26 was that those decisions were easier because the consequences of taking players that weren't match ready for the first couple of matches perhaps were less impactful than if you only had 23, and the decisions might have been different. We'll never know what decisions we'd have taken if we'd had 23, because that wasn't the scenario we were working with. As it is, both players are training with the team, both are available for tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to them being part of the games.
Thanks, Stuart. Okay, we'll try Carrie Brown once more. Carrie, you there? No, it appears Carrie's still having connection issues, so we'll skip next to, he's just joining Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo when he's ready. Hello, Scott.
Hi. Gareth, a lot was made of Russia in the way that the kind of relationship with the England supporters developed, and it was kind of, you got a bit of a sense of that starting to brew with the Croatia game. I mean, a good performance and a win against Scotland tomorrow night rather, will clearly be, a big celebration with England fans. I mean, how much would it mean to be able to A, give them that, and B, get the ball rolling as it seemed to in Russia?
For me, it's always about creating those moments for our fans. There's 2 parts of the job as a manager. One is to get the best of the players and to help them to achieve the maximum level possible, and the second is to create moments that the fans enjoy and days that they go home celebrating and happy. So there's not really a lot else that is important within the outcomes of the job, and we know what it would mean to our supporters to go home with a win tomorrow night. We know that would help to build more excitement and anticipation for the games that follow. So yeah, it's absolutely high on our priority list.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Next we'll go to David Friel.
Hi Gareth, hi Harry, how are you?
Gareth,
I'll take you back to 2017, the summer at Hampden, the 2 each draw. Will you use that as an example to your players of what can happen if you switch off at all? And on the basis of that, are you happy that Lee Griffiths didn't make the Scotland squad given what he did that day?
Well, I still see those goals going in my sleep sometimes, that's for sure. They were 2 incredible free kicks. No, I think what we would highlight is that, of course, in a game of football, anything can happen and you've got to respond and react to it, and we did that day. We are a team that, when we've gone behind in matches, have found a way to win, found a way to get draws. We've done that quite a lot over the last 3 or 4 years, and that was the biggest outcome for us. We know that any team can score against you. They can have those moments, and those moments of quality that day could be replicated tomorrow. So we've got to be prepared for everything, and the way that we react as a team to any setback or any difficult moment on the pitch is key.
Thank you, David. Sorry, David, carry on.
So I just want to highlight, Andy Robertson was talking yesterday, Harry, and he mentioned how he believes Scottish football and the Scottish team deserves a bit more respect, especially from people down south. Would you agree with that, and can you just give us a sense of how the England team view the Scotland team?
I mean, my personal point of view, and I know that from the team as well, we have huge respect for Scotland. I think they're a very good side with a lot of great players, a lot of experienced players, the likes of Andy Robertson, who's won Champions League, played won Premier Leagues, playing at one of the biggest clubs in the world. So from my point of view, I think they're a very tough side. Even their result against the Czech Republic, I thought could have gone either way. The big moments in that game obviously went to the Czechs, but I thought Scotland played pretty well, and if it wasn't for the Czech keeper, could have had a few goals. So from maybe that's the issue for maybe I don't know, the fans or things like that. But from our point of view, we hugely respect them, and we know we're going to have a tough game tomorrow night.
Thank you, David. Given Carrie Brown's connection issues, I have two questions to ask on her behalf. So this is from Carrie Brown of BeanymanSports. Firstly, to Gareth Southgate. Gareth, we all remember the Paul Gascoigne goal at Euro 96. What was it like to be on the pitch when that was scored?
Well, it was a fantastic occasion, of course, a full stadium. A game that we had drawn our first match, not played particularly well. Didn't play particularly well in the first half of the game with Scotland, and Scotland had just missed a penalty to make the game 1-1. So there was the euphoria of going 2-0 ahead, which on that day was probably going to be enough. But also then there was the quality of the goal, which of course was so outstanding. So we had, without a doubt, one of the most memorable games for me with England. But again, because it was wrapped up in what was an incredible tournament experience, really.
Thanks, Gareth. And another one on behalf of Carrie Brown to Harry Kane. Harry, can you describe the atmosphere of coming up against Scotland, especially reflecting on your equaliser at Hampden? Is it the equivalent to a Champions League game, or special in its own right?
Yeah, I mean, it's special because it's a game in a major tournament. Obviously, we haven't played Scotland themselves in a major tournament for a long time now. So it's a big game, but it's a European competition. So we're going to play some tough teams along the way. It's our second group game, which is a chance, gives us a chance to qualify after beating Croatia. So from our point of view, like we touched on earlier, it's a game that we're fully focused on. We're not taking for granted, and obviously if we can get the job done tomorrow night, then that'd be great.
Okay, and we have time for one more, and that will be Antonello Guerrera from La Repubblica. If we can unmute. No, I think we have connection issues, but then no further hands raised, so we'll conclude this media conference there. Thanks for joining us this evening.